Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wade with Wade's Bets, and I'm here again with Mikey Knobs, Mike Noblin from Twitter, X, as you want to call it. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, can't complain. Wade, appreciate you having me on again, man. Had a blast the last time we got to do this, and it was a heart attack winner, if I remember correctly, with North Texas. I think they were down seemed like they were down at least 21 points, and
I gave up at halftime.
Somehow came back and covered, man. I mean, I don't know if that's good juju. I'll take it. So we're 1-0 on those collabs. Figured we'd come back and hit y'all with a little something, a little Monday Night Football here. But yeah, glad to be with y'all. Like I said before, content manager for a site called eatwatchbet.com. Rep the hat in all my videos. But we give out free sports picks each and every day, literally probably 363 days a year, I guess you'd say, off Christmas Day, off Thanksgiving. Other than that, we're giving out content. So glad to be on. And Wade, man, I see you're still on fire, dude. Like, I mean, I check every morning, and it seems like your VIP just keeps crushing it, man. How did November wrap up for you? It had to be in the positive, I think. It looked like
at least the last 5 days. The last 5 days we've been on a little streak here. We've been profited every day. It's probably around 15 units for the last 5 days. November was rocky, man. It was up and down. There was a lot of days that were basically break even. We only profited about 7 units last month. So it was one of our lower months of the year, but there's so many sports going on, we really couldn't decide. We were going to NHL at the beginning of it. I mean, we were kind of tying in everything. Kind of got back to specifically NBA and NFL for the most part. A little bit of college.
Nice.
It's been working out a little bit better for us. So how about you, man? How you been doing? I know you've been.
Man, it's just been a weird season, man. I mean, I had one of my. I usually do well in baseball. Crushed baseball season this year. Was up well over 30 units, and normally do really well in college football and NFL both. Maybe slightly better over the years in college football. But just been a weird season for me, man. I actually checked this morning. It's so odd. I'm down 6 units for the season in college football, but I'm up 7 units in the NFL. So a whole lot of hard work to be up plus 1 unit. But I guess, hey, that's better than being down anything. But yeah, just one of those weird years, man. It happens. I tell people all the time, it's called gambling for a reason. That's why we preach, sound money management. I tell people only bet 1 to 2% of their bankroll per pick. Don't get crazy. There's no such thing as a lock. It's just, I try to, coach people, approach it like a long-term investment. You wouldn't put all your 401k into one company, or at least you shouldn't. It's like betting it all on one company. You don't want to bet it all on one team. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I always constantly preach money management. But yeah, so I guess it's just kind of a so-so year for us in football. But the props been doing really well. We've been on a nice hot streak with NFL props.
Yeah, you have.
So hopefully we keep that up today. But
no, yeah. I was going to say, the people watching, they really need to go check out your website. Go read your articles on Eat Watch Bet. I check them out almost every time you put them up. You've been really riding these receptions props pretty hard lately. Yeah. I don't think if the people don't know you well, man, you're one of the people that I've talked to that I really believe you're sharp. You know what you're talking about, and you even have some insight and knowledge to the betting industry that I don't think a lot of people have. So
I appreciate the kind words, man. It means the world.
It's the truth.
I've been betting. I was telling my boss earlier today. I was like, I've been betting pretty much every day for 22 years. I've taken weeks and maybe a month or so off here and there, but the best learning is by experience. And I've had years where I've lost money, of course. Yeah, it's just gambling. And I've had years where I've won a decent amount. But, overall, over time on most of my sports, I've won, averaged around 53, 54%, which is nothing sexy, but it is profitable. So, yeah, I appreciate the kind words. And I just want to help people win, man. That's what I'm all about. The books make $1 bazillion a year, and I just want to try to give back to the gambling community all I can, and hopefully teach folks how to win. But yeah, man, I don't know how you cap as many sports as you do. That's one thing we hit on last time. It's like you can tell the folks like yourself that really handicap all the sports. You're putting in a ton of hours, a lot of research, and you're charging a really small fee. I think is it still $10 a month? I mean, that's a steal.
Well, it's $20 a month, but almost every month I'm running a 50% promo just to give, try to get people in the door. And
right. And
I could be charging $100, $200 like other
right.
people, but I'm not, sure I want to make money, but I'm not trying to rip people off. If people lose bets, which I'm not hitting bets all the time, you feel bad. And I don't, I think $20, $20 to $50 is a good rate. It's not going to kill anybody's bank account. You're probably paying more for that for things that you probably don't need in life.
Amen.
I don't know. Just don't go to Starbucks a few times a week. You can cover that. But I don't know, man. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're all about the management and bankroll management and making sure you're not overextending yourselves. We've gotten ourselves in a couple positions this year where we've just overextended. We've taken way too many picks. By the time the end of the day goes, you're like, wow, I've taken 20 bets today.
Yeah.
There's also been like 4 sports. So I have really been trying to back off. And like you said, baseball is probably our best sport too. I mean, we were over 100 units this
y'all are
season.
killing it. Yeah.
And for college football, I'm looking right now, we're up 2.85 units for the entire season. It's it's rough. Now, NFL, we've been doing a little better. We're up 24 units, but
nice.
That's been a grind. That's only happened the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like, I think we talked last time. It's like, you have those break even months. I tell people, when you're breaking even, that's still a win. Because at least you're winning enough to overcome the house edge. You're not. It's basically free entertainment at that point. You've gotten a lot of fun out of watching the games. Yeah, you want to turn profit every month or every week, but it's just not possible, man. So breaking even in sports betting is a win. Absolutely. Anything else is gravy. It's like if I go out to dinner and a movie with a wife, I'm gonna spend $100 bill. But during football season, we can have $20-$30 on a couple games, and sit here and hopefully, win some money, or if we split, go 1-1. Hey, we just had a fun evening for free. So there you go. That's how you got to look at it.
Absolutely. So let's get into this game, man. I'm going to let you kind of kick it off. Talk about the game a little bit. Who's playing, where it's at, and what you kind of think is going to happen in this game, and then you can go into the pick after that if you want.
All right, appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is just kind of a microcosm for the whole season, right? This, a few weeks ago, this would have been a sexy matchup. Would have been Burrow against Lawrence. And now, poor Joe Burrow, and I feel sorry for Bengals fans, man. He hurt the wrist, a few weeks ago. He's out for the year, having to go with Jake Brown, and nothing against Jake Brown. And I watched him at University of Washington. He was a decent college player, but he looks overwhelmed out there right now. So just really feel sorry for the Bengals. I think this line opened up. If we want to talk a little bit on the main markets. The line opened up Cincinnati -7, didn't last long. All the sharps, just were gobbling that up like a bunch of great white sharks. The sharks were sharps were sharks on that one. I don't blame them. Now, last I saw, I think it's out to 10. So I don't have an opinion on the side, just because if I would have taken Jacksonville -7 over Cincy, but now that it's at 10, I'm leaving it alone. But do like a prop for the game. Actually bet 4 if you guys follow my writing, but I'm gonna hone in on one. As I say, we'll call it our bet. Gonna go with Trevor Lawrence over 20.5 pass completions. Best line right now, you can get that -140 at BetMGM. Let's see where else we got here. You can also -143 at Caesars. I'm good with either one. Actually, if you have access to Unibet or a few of the other Canby books like Bet Rivers or Sugar House, -130, much better price. Like it there a little better. I got it -120, but still like it at the current price. It's too low, man. When I'm looking at props, I'm kind of a little bit of a math geek. I don't have a math degree or anything, but I always like to look at the math behind the play. And when I pull up Trevor Lawrence's his median pass completions for the year is 23. He's went over 20.5 pass completions in 8 of 11 games this year. His median last year was 24. The number's just way too freaking low, man. I don't understand. I get because the Jags are such a heavy favorite that maybe they think they'll throttle it down and just hand the ball off to ETN and Tank Bigsby, maybe late in the game. But even still, I just think the numbers, at least a couple of I think the line should have at least been 22.5, and then I would still have leaned toward the over. When I saw it at 20.5, I jumped on it immediately, man. Cincinnati just has a rough time on defense, ranked dead last in yards per pass. They give up 7.6 yards per pass attempt. That's insane. Lawrence should feast against these guys, and he's gone over this number in 3 of his last 4. I don't see Coach Doug Peterson throttling down that much. Maybe in the fourth quarter, but he likes to make his hay throwing the ball. They don't really run it that well. Etienne's a good running back, but he doesn't get big chunk yardage. So yeah, just really like Lawrence over 20.5. If all your book has is 21.5, I guess I would still play it, maybe for just a little bit less. I always like to preach getting the best number you can, but that's another soapbox there, guys. Bet early, get your work done early. If you can be ready when the props open, most props come out for Sunday games. They're out usually Wednesday afternoon. If you can hammer them at open for Monday Night Football, they usually come out on Thursday afternoon. It's what I preach. Kind of a side tidbit here. I played Evan Ingram over 4.5 at plus 110 at open. It's like minus 180 everywhere now, so I can't recommend that. And that's moved too much. But there again, talk about the importance of being ready early. This is a market. Jump on it early so you can beat the move. That's it for me, man. Wade, what do you got, man? I can't wait.
Man, you're one of the best at, honestly, you're one of the best at getting on lines early. You're putting out articles. You're always grabbing lines super early. That's probably one of my things I need to probably get a little bit better at. I know the lines are out there. I tend to wait for injury reports and kind of get a feel for what the market's doing. But like you said, then I miss out on all sorts of stuff that I regret almost weekly. So it's all about getting prepared and being ready, man.
Yeah. Well, I will say in your defense, like it's easier to jump on early when you're only doing one sport at a time. Like I typically am only capping one sport at a time. So like if it's football season, I'm usually not doing anything else. I'm playing a little bit around with some NHL system I'm working on. But really, if we're just doing one or two sports, you can be prepared early. But, you're doing everything. So, I mean, really, in your case, you've got to kind of take it day by day just because you're trying to put out literally, plays for 4 or 5 different leagues.
That is about right where we are. But I'll say I love your play. I've already jumped on it. Once you told me what you were taking, I've already went in and jumped on that.
I appreciate it.
I think there was maybe one game Lawrence ended on 20.
Yep, that's true. So, that would hurt.
if you kind of put that in there, he's hitting that thing almost 80% of the years. So that's and you're right. The Bengals are really struggling too, especially on the back end. I don't see why Ingram. I think Etienne's going to get some receptions. Ridley. I don't know if they're going to be able to slow down Kirk. He'll probably have some receptions. But I think this number might go, 23, 24, 25. Who knows? It could be more.
Fingers crossed. Here we go.
Yep. We're on it. Well, our play is going to be we're going to go with Jamar Chase under 5.5 receptions.
Nice.
Probably a crazy prop to take.
Nice.
If you look at the data, Jacksonville allows the 26th most receptions per game.
Yep.
So I'm kind of going up against one here. Last week he had six targets, 4 receptions with Browning under center.
Yep.
He hasn't hit this in 4 straight games. Before that, he was kind of going on a tear once he, kind of went public with I'm always open.
I remember like 7-11. I'm always open.
7-11, but then after that, he went on a tear, 12, 7, 15, 6, 10. And then after that, he hasn't hit over 5 since. And the crazy stat that I found was Jacksonville has had 6 home games, and only 1 receiver has gone over 5.5 receptions, and that was Michael Pittman for the Colts. And they've played the Chiefs, they've played the Texans, they played the 49ers all at home, and none of them went over. I think there's only 2 players that have gone over, and the other one was a tight end. I think that was Smith, the tight end from Falcons.
Gotcha.
So I'm just liking the data here, man. I'm not sure. I think the Bengals might try to get the ball into Mixon's hands a little bit more.
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
I think he'll definitely get at least 15 carries. I think his line was around 14.5 or something. So I think it might be a little more balanced approach. I don't think they want Browning. Last week, I think they had 31 plays and Browning threw it 20. So something like that. So they don't want him throwing like 70% of the plays. There's just no way. That's crazy.
Right. That's a great
now, if they get down below, down too much, 10 points, 13 points early, then they're probably going to have to run. But I don't know. If he goes over, it is what it is. I'll
Yeah.
ride with this one for sure. So,
And this is one of the reasons I love, hearing you break down a game. You focus on stats that are not really, what would you call it? They're not typical statistics. And so why I love that approach is you're looking for edges in places where most people aren't. And that's why you're profitable in so many sports, is that you're looking for those hidden gems that not just Joe Blow can find, in the sports page.
correct.
You're talking about, stats, home versus road. And a lot of guys don't break it down to that level.
For sure.
Another reason why I like to play, one thing I've seen over the years, as long as I've been playing props, I haven't been playing props for a few years, but typically the value is with these star players under a total. And Jamar Chase, arguably best wide receiver in the league, especially when Burrow's in there. So taking it under, I think right off the bat, you've got some value just because you're taking a big name to underperform. It's not really Chase's fault, but it's like, do we really trust? I'm with you. Do we really trust Browning to get the ball into Chase's hands this many times? We talked off air. He had a great point. Anytime you've got an inexperienced quarterback in there, his security blanket's going to be the little swing pass out to the running back or the little slant over the middle of the tight end.
Yep.
And I thought that was a great point, man. And he's probably not going to look at Chase deep, maybe on a couple of short wide receiver screens, maybe. Yeah, but I think you got some good value there too, man. I'm looking at my odds screen right now. You can find under 5.5. Best line right now, -118 at Bet Online, or -120 at FanDuel.
That's where I got it, and it was sitting about 130, 135 everywhere else. So I thought maybe we got a little bit of line cushion here. I think it's going to come down. But
I love it. And there's another good point, man. It's like, y'all listen up. Wade is throwing out pearls of wisdom today. You hear what he just said. You want to look, whatever side you're wanting to bet on, whether it's a prop or, side total, whatever. Compare the number that you're betting it at with the rest of the market. Like Wade just said there, he found -120 at FanDuel. Well, other books have it -135, -137 at Unibet, -140 elsewhere. Right off the bat, that screams line value, because it's like, okay, you're getting the best number out of, let's say, 15 sports books. You're automatically that's going to add a percent or two to your win percentage over time. Man,
for sure.
Wade's got me fired up today, man, throwing out these pearls of wisdom. I love it.
Hey, man, I'm ready for the game tonight too.
That's it.
I really wish Burrow was playing, man. This was going to be a super primetime game tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe it still will be. Who knows? Maybe Browning will pull something out of his hat.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the recent Thursday night football game, the Cowboys and Seahawks. It's like the line just kept climbing up. I think Dallas did touch -10, and the Seahawks gave them all they wanted. I'm a Dallas fan. I'm a long-suffering Dallas fan. Hadn't done nothing since I was a kid, and it's like 95, 96. So it's been a long drought for my Cowboys. And they gave us all we wanted. This could be another game. We forget, double-digit underdogs. And I would venture to say, I don't know for sure, but a double-digit underdog in the NFL over time because of the parity are usually pretty good bet. I don't know if that's the case with a guy like Browning under center.
I don't know. I think the Bengals are in one of those spots, though, man, where they just might surprise everybody. They're kind of down right now. Nobody's thinking about them.
Yep.
So I don't know. I know they've lost 3 straight, but that could be one of those where Jacksonville's won 2 straight. Cincinnati's lost 3 straight. Something's got to give. These are all professional players. You got to remember too. Even if some players are injured, players want to step up because they don't want to lose their jobs, and you're not going to always play your best every game. So I mean,
that's it.
Bengals still have a chance here.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the NFL. Crazy things happen. Definitely wouldn't want to lay the 10 with the Jags.
It's down to 8.5 now, by the way.
Oh, so that tells me, I mean, the Sharps were waiting on that 10 and they gobbled it up this morning, I guess. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't even looked at it in a while, but yeah, that would make me lean toward the Bengals. There you go. So that tells you all you need to know right there. It's like sometimes there's money to be made, jumping on the ugly teams. We're not going to do it. We're going to stick to our props tonight. Love props in a so-called perceived early or ugly game like this. So we'll roll with our 2 best bets. Hopefully we'll cash them in for y'all. But yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man. You guys can find me over on X at Wade Bets. You guys can find Mikey over at X at Mike Noblin.
Got it.
It's down there on the ticker as well, strolling, so you
Yep.
guys can see how it's spelled.
Nice.
Hey man, I appreciate your time today. I absolutely love talking to you, man. We're always
Yeah.
chatting.
Hey, same here,
I'm
brother.
always following you. I take your bets. I appreciate it, man. You've
Yeah.
been a wealth of knowledge since I've met you, and I hope we keep making these videos and
Yeah.
let's win these bets tonight, man.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind words, and same here, dude. I'm always every morning I'm searching to see what you're on and what free plays you're giving out, and just appreciate that. You're really definitely researching each and every pick you throw out there, and I respect that. That's a rare thing on Gambling X these days. So props to you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. We'll talk
Yes,
to you
sir.
guys soon.
All right. Take care.